Welcome to EA Sports Game Changers. I'm Kevin Frazier, and today we are starting things off with an NFL superstar. In March, free agent Jared Allen signed a $32 million deal with the Chicago Bears. It's a big contract for a guy with a big heart. If you think Jared is a force on the field, check out how hard he works to help the men and women of America's armed forces when he's off the field.
The stories are all different, yet heartbreakingly familiar.
My injury happened during a foot patrol in Al Anbar province.
As soon as it hit, everything was just white light. I couldn't see anything and just breathing in smoke. Didn't even realize I was in pain or anything happened to my legs. Just all I could think of was, we got hit.
And later that day, I got into a pretty good gunfight with the Taliban. I stepped on a pressure plate IED in an orchard.
These three, like many American veterans, were severely injured on the battlefields of Iraq and Afghanistan. After long and painful rehabilitation, sometimes having to learn to walk again, they all returned to their homes.
It was a really tough transition just because my whole life changed in like an instant.
Life at home wasn't easy for these vets. With prosthetic limbs, a walk to the parking lot or up and down stairs was painful. Doorways and hallways were often not wide enough or kitchen counters low enough to accommodate the wheelchairs many vets need. But building a handicap-accessible home can be expensive, unless you have a little help.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for number 69 himself, the big man, Jared Allen.
Jared Allen is, of course, one of the top defensive players in the NFL. A perennial Pro Bowler at defensive end, he's twice led the league in sacks, including an eye-popping 22 for the Vikings in 2011. At 32 years old, he's moving near the top of the NFL's all-time sack list. It may seem ironic that one of the most feared men on the football field is one of the most compassionate men off it. Allen has long been a leader in many charitable causes, but it was a 2009 visit with troops in the Middle East that really changed his life.
The USO trip back in 2009 was a great experience, and so for me it was just completely humbling, and when I came back I knew I had to do something.
That something became the Jared Allen Homes for Wounded Warriors. It's a nonprofit group that builds handicap-ready homes for veterans.
We didn't want to just write checks, and I started thinking about when I feel my most vulnerable, where do I feel my safest? And it's at my house.
So Jared, along with his team of dedicated volunteers, got to work, building ramps, lowering counters, widening doors, whatever needs to be done to make a home more functional for these wounded warriors.
Whether it's building a house, whether it's acquiring a house and remodeling it, when we turn the houses over to our men and women, they're free and clear. They own them, and they don't have to worry about a mortgage or anything like that.
Those three veterans we met at the beginning, all three are getting a new home thanks to Jared Allen.
You ready? Come on in, dude.
His organization is responsible for 8 houses so far.
Wow, that's something else.
And Jared's constantly raising money through black tie galas and other events so he can do more. Oftentimes, the money comes from his own pocket.
The way I look at it, even if we don't have the money, we'll raise it, and if I gotta fund it, then I'll fund it.
For families of vets like Colin Faust, a call from Allen's organization can make a world of difference.
Oh, he's the answer to our prayers. And I told him that. When we got the call, and he said, "This is Jared Allen, and I want to build your son a home." And we couldn't believe it.
And Allen is more than just a drive-by philanthropist. He has become a friend to the veterans and the families that he's helped.
It's the biggest thing that probably ever happened to me in my life. So we're all incredibly grateful.
But Jared Allen says he's the one who's grateful.
And what I do is not heroic by any means. I play a game for a living. Our men and women out there are playing with live bullets. I mean, it's life or death.
The house itself means that I'm not going to have to be in pain anymore.
You guys need anything? Call it.
Yep. See you again.
Absolutely. For us to sit at home and enjoy the freedoms that they protect, you know, it's the least that we can do to give back and to say thank you.
For more NFL content, visit NFLRush.com.
Coming up, we're in Houston, Texas with Dwight Howard, and he could not be happier. And a special court dedicated to a special man. David Stern left his mark on the NBA, and now his mark is here, in a place basketball was not even possible like this just weeks ago. Then, he took his sister to the prom and had to wait his turn to talk to her. Dayton Flyer center Devin Oliver is all smiles, and his sister is the reason why.